What is it, Pete?
Well, it's just that I spent the first 20 years of my life in one place. And suddenly I'm in England, and now 36 hours later, we're off over Europe. I'll get used to it.
Cabinet crew, check in.
Wait, gunner on deck. Operator on deck. Bombardier on deck. No pilot on deck.
Just where over Europe is kind of important if you want to make a career out of it.
Well, Oberleutnant, whilst the news is not particularly good, it's gratifying to know that the Gestapo system of communication is still approximately 2 days ahead of the Abwehr.
2 days?
I hope you're not too disappointed that your journey has been in vain.
On the contrary, Herr Sturmbannführer, I am delighted to know that the efficiency that made Germany great is still with us. It makes our eventual victory more certain than ever.
To my mind, that has never been in question. And now, perhaps, if you'll excuse me, I was just about to leave when you arrived. There's a Bach recital by Walter Gieseking at the Opera House tonight. I should not like to miss it, and I have to change.
Of course. The reputation of the Brussels Friday evening recitals has spread to Amsterdam. In fact, I was hoping to attend this evening myself. I do not return to my unit until Sunday night. Perhaps I may have the pleasure of seeing you in the interval, Herr Sturmbannführer.
Possibly.
Good day, then, sir.
Good day.
May I say how impressed I am that you have a record of these 3 magnificent Rubens? I had quite forgotten them until I passed the convent today.
You are familiar with these paintings?
Why, yes. At least I had not seen them since 1938, but I presume they still hang there.
In a convent on the way from Amsterdam?
Yes, about 40 kilometers from here. Oh, but you know it, of course.
How did you come to visit a Flemish convent in pre-war Belgium?
Oh, forgive me, Herr Sturmbannführer. I should explain that I am a graduate of the Hamburg Academy of Arts. In 1938, I set off with 2 fellow students on a cycling tour of the Low Countries. We visited many religious houses, hoping to discover works of art that had escaped the Napoleonic purges.
You were successful then?
Only on this one occasion, I'm afraid.
But still, an outstanding discovery. These photographs were brought to me by a dealer here in Brussels. They were taken over 20 years ago, but have only recently come into his possession. He is as anxious as I am to make sure that these and other paintings remain in this country.
You have taken them into safekeeping?
No.
But in the wrong hands. They have great value.
Granite, I have not taken them into safekeeping because until you informed me just now, I did not know of their whereabouts. Germany is indebted to you, Oberleutnant. You will take an aperitif? Granite, fetch the Oberleutnant a glass of schnapps. Oh, and, yes, phone the Opera House. I want you to reserve another place for tonight's recital. Tell them I shall be bringing a second guest. And tomorrow, perhaps you will accompany me to this convent?
As you can see, monsieur, Jacques has almost finished the entombment. You may collect all 3 originals whenever you wish.
Oh, please, Reverend Mother, not all 3. We may not be able to return them for a very long while.
If I had not thought out the situation thoroughly, I should not be offering them. You will take all 3, I insist.
Then we accept, very gratefully. You may be sure the money will be put to good use.
Any use you put it to that may bring a swifter end to this war must be good. Your husband seems quite taken by the crucifixion.
Monsieur Foiré is in charge of our operations, Reverend Mother, but he's not my husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was just that your dear mother described a man who fitted Monsieur's description almost exactly.
Thank you for your generosity and time, Reverend Mother. And it's been wonderful seeing you again. But Monsieur Foiré and I must leave now if we're to get to Antwerp in time for the train. If there's any need to alter the arrangements, you will be contacted. Otherwise, the paintings will be collected next Wednesday at midday.
That will be perfectly convenient. Jacques will have them ready for you.
Who else knows about these copies, apart from Jacques?
Just his sister. She is here with us as a novice.
What about their parents?
Dead, monsieur. Both killed in the first bombing raid on Antwerp in 1940. Don't worry. No one else shall know our secret.
The church involved itself with us once before. It resulted in death. We don't want anything more on our conscience than we have already. What's the hurry? We're not due in for another 5 minutes.
I was beginning to think you didn't want her to lend us the paintings.
I was merely trying to point out that her wimple wouldn't protect her or her sisters if things became difficult.
Considering Lifeline's current financial state, I should have thought you'd be very grateful. It's been nearly 2 months since London managed to get us any money through.
You know as well as I do that if London wanted to, they could get funds to us tomorrow. It's a show of strength. It's their way of telling us that they're fed up with chucking money into escape lines, just to make them more effective for spreading the communist doctrine.
Can't you convince them Lifeline's not a political organization? Anyway, England's supposed to be fighting this war against Germany, not Russia.
I think our allies are now as concerned with the political victory as a military one.
And if you give in, they'll just start dictating to us again.
And using us as a pipeline for their own intelligence.
Oh, English spies in Lifeline.
No, pawning those paintings to our Swiss speculator will buy us independence for a little while. But if we intend to continue with Lifeline's business, we should need a flow of money which is unending. And that can only be obtained from a major power outside this country.
You don't care which one.
Antwerp to Brussels in 37 minutes. Almost like pre-war.
Stop the crew! I can't hold this thing much longer. We're losing height.
Rousing little number.
So it seems. A major, too.
Oh, it's all in fun, Monique.
Oh, yes. Natalie's arrived.
I'd seen her. Just put it down there. Keep an eye on her, will you? I want at least one of these left to drink from at the end of the war.
Oh, relax, Claudette.
Hey, you're smoking too much. Did you get the details of our latest visitors?
Yes. Their names are Charles McGee.
Charles McGee.
And Peter Harris.
Peter Harris. McGee. Harris. One coffee?
Please.
Charles McGee. Peter Harris. Irish and Welsh names, which probably means...
They're American.
Yeah. More and more. I'll get Ellen to check with London tonight.
Madame Demar telephoned an hour after I got in. Now, apparently, their flying fortress came down in the middle of a wood. But she doesn't expect the wreckage to be discovered until tomorrow.
Were they the only survivors?
As far as she knows, she's hiding them both on her farm.
Oh, sorry. Near our shop?
Yes. Her father's very ill, so she's unable to deliver them herself. And I've promised Albert that they'll be collected tomorrow.
Of course.
Psst. Here, try that. Hey!
Some coats. How is he? Did he say anything while I was away?
He kind of grunted something.
We couldn't catch it.
He's about the same, I guess. Well?
Tomorrow. They will collect you tomorrow.
What do you mean, tomorrow? We could be in a POW camp by then.
Don't worry. I would not be putting my father and our home at risk if there was any danger. No one ever passes here.
Yeah, it's like the only water hole in the middle of a desert. Shh. Lady, all it needs is for one hungry German patrol to pass by here, and you can bet where they'll head for. And I don't intend to be around to serve them your chicken soup when they come knocking on your door.
Charlie, cut it out, will you?
We have very few hens left in this country, thanks to the Germans. And those we have, we try to keep alive. They produce eggs, you see. You and your friend may return to England to come back to fight on against our enemies. That would be productive, too. And that is the reason I give you shelter in my house.
Look, I'm sorry, and we are grateful, but I wish I could make you understand how we feel. I lived on a farm all my life. I hadn't been more than 50 miles away from home till I was drafted. 2 weeks ago, we were still 6,000 miles away on the training base at Kellyfield, Texas.
And now we're here. And #1 target for any kraut that's half awake.
Could you maybe just tell us who it is will be collecting us and at what time tomorrow?
Who will collect you is not important. And the time will be tomorrow. Sometime.
Do you want to risk it?
You have no need to fear, Reverend Mother. Your paintings will be quite safe with us. They'll be stored for the duration of the war. You must realize the value of these paintings if they fell into the wrong hands. Or, and I do not like to admit this occurs, members of the Reich who, under the guise of art lovers, are building up their own large private collections. This is a practice which the Führer deplores, and I have strict orders to see that temptation is removed from such people. And now perhaps your assistants could help carry the paintings to my car. Oberleutnant Horst, would you kindly countersign the Reich's receipt for the Reverend Mother?
With pleasure, Herr Sturmbannführer.
So, I'm sure you understand the measures I am taking are merely preventive. Good day to you.
You're not thinking what I think you're thinking.
I think we might just stand out a little too much on those.
We should have stayed in that farmhouse. Her friends would have picked us up by now.
Exactly.
No, she was leveling with us. I'm sure of it.
Hey, you weren't so damn sure last night. Look, Pete, we made a decision and we left. Now, suppose we try and get near a town somewhere so we can get our bearings, okay?
How? We can't walk along that road with only these over our uniforms.
Then we'll have to get ourselves some transportation. For the road. Come on. Give me a couple more, huh? It's worth a try.
I'm particularly fond of the fatherland at this time of the year.
Oh, I agree. Do you know the Black Forest and the lakes?
Oh, of course. When I was little more than a boy, I would go camping there with my companions. Although I must admit that life under canvas would perhaps not suit me now.
May I offer you lunch, Herr Sturmbannführer? There is a small auberge not more than 6 kilometers from here. The cooking is French, of course. It always amuses me how much better one can live in the country during a war compared to a city.
I was under the impression that this was your first war, Oberleutnant. We should also bear in mind our own women and children who are suffering hourly under the murderous bombing attacks on our cities back home. However, I realize your invitation was meant in good faith, so I will accept your offer to lunch.
We got him.
He's a German officer.
So, what better cover do we need to take us to the Swiss border?
He's also got a gun.
Exactly.
Well, come on then.
Oh, wait a minute. You want to change the flat? Get it! Get that hand back on the
The Oberleutnant is returning a military salute from the advance guard of an approaching panzer column. You've told us to act naturally, which is exactly what the Oberleutnant is trying to do.
Okay. Okay. Take a look.
Here comes another one.
Let this one get out of sight. Then take the next left turn you come to. Okay, let's get out. Now, take it easy. You're a lieutenant, right?
Correct.
What about him?
I'm a doctor. The Oberleutnant called me out to visit a patient when the army doctor could not be contacted. I also have my regular Saturday morning surgery full of sick patients waiting for me in Brussels. I shall most certainly be missed. So I suggest you let me go at least. I will tell no one of your whereabouts.
Charlie, what do you say? We only need one hostage for cover, and if this guy's a doctor...
I never saw a doctor yet who made a house call without a little black bag. Shh. Here, you cover him.
Hold it right there.
The feathers came off an old dress of my grandmother's.
Ah.
Well, you like it.
Oh, I like what's inside it. Did you pay Madame Lecoq for the flower?
Just tell me what's wrong with it, Albert. I won't mind. I just want to know.
But it's all these feathers, my dear. I mean, you've got real talent. You don't need all that.
That means I can't get away with them, I suppose. Well, I like them. And I'm wearing it tonight. You liked it in that film.
I need it down in the office. Well, you're probably right. Oh. Anyway, you must wear whatever makes you feel happy. It took all three.
Confiscated for the duration. I don't suppose you could send the copies of the paintings to your man in Zurich? At least you wouldn't have to find the money to repay him at the end of the war.
Copies would convince the German army. They would never fool a Swiss.
So Lifeline is still short of funds. What will you do?
What we did before. Our own people supplied us then, they will again.
Oh, come on, Albert. You know there isn't any money anymore. We wouldn't last a month.
And as preserving the line is my first priority, I shall have to contact London again. Women are surrounded by useless women.
Candide, it's all right. Major.
And tell them that you'll be a good boy from now on and help them root out all these naughty communists they seem to think are running every link in their line.
If that is a condition for survival, then yes. That is what I shall agree to.
You propose that I carry you and your companion all the way to Switzerland?
Just as close as you can get, Dutch. Pete and I'll see about getting across the frontier.
But it will take days. How can you hope to keep these two prisoners all the time?
Nobody leaves the barge until we're where we want to be. Unless it's feet first. We all stick together, okay?
What is keeping your friend with a knife? What is he doing with Marlena?
Look, as long as you behave yourself, your wife's going to be okay. Relax. Anyway, she's a little old for him. Now, Pete's just persuading her our plan makes sense. Now, why don't you just be a good little Dutchman and go along with us, huh?
You may as well do as he says. There is really no alternative.
Okay, we gotta try this sometime, so why not now? I'm gonna go up and talk with Pete, and you are gonna stay here and cover these two. Pete, I'm coming up. Cover the lady, will you?
Okay.
Huh? Just remember, Pete's knife is very sharp. One false move. Cover him.
I'll do it.
Well, Oberleutnant, I think that lunch at the auberge might have been preferable.
I'm so sorry, sir. They seem to jump us from nowhere. I thought I noticed some glass on the road when I was changing the wheel.
Quite probably. Still a rather old-fashioned device for an observant officer to fall for, don't you think?
Again, I am so sorry, sir. But don't worry. I will make every effort to get us out of this predicament as quickly as possible.
You will do nothing. They will do it for us.
How is that, sir?
Because they are frightened. Already I sense a friction between them. Their nerve will go and they will make a mistake. We must be ready for that.
I wonder how long it will take for someone to discover the deserted car. And the paintings. 3 priceless Rubens.
It's by whom they discover that I'm most concerned with. You, Bargy.
Sir?
You know who I am.
Gestapo?
I'm Sturmbannführer Kessler.
Chief of Gestapo, Brussels.
However, it's better that my identity is not revealed to the American airman. The younger one is too frightened already, and our friend whose gun you now point at me might perhaps pull the trigger. And that would help no one. We all know what the Führer's lesson was for the senseless murder of Heydrich in Czechoslovakia.
Lidice. It is one the world must never forget. My wife, my Lena and I, we just want a simple life. We don't take sides.
That's a state you could maintain no longer. You must commit yourself.
What is this? Sit down. Give me that. You better go up and see your old lady. She was going on about the engine. I'll cover our 2 prisoners here.
Surely there are 6 of us on this barge.
Yeah, so?
So, as you said earlier, no one can leave without the other. Surely that makes the number of prisoners 6.
Let me go ashore. Let me phone my niece. Tell him, Hans.
Your wife has been telling me that you might be able to contact an escape line to get pilots back to England?
Did she also tell you what happened last time we handed a pilot over to one of these escape lines?
Hans, they didn't mean that to happen. They did all they could.
Maybe. But the pilot died. He didn't want to fight, you see. He wanted out of the war, to stay in Switzerland, so that he would have a life with his family when this war was over. Do you understand?
I understand, but... Gee, it's a man's duty to fight for his country. There's no choice.
There's always a choice. I made it in the First World War when I decided to stop fighting for Germany. You see, I understood that as an airman. I also understood why the escape line allowed him to be killed. He was dispensable. But you two are not. They would welcome you.
Let me go ashore and telephone. That way at least you stand a chance.
He's a German! How do I know you wouldn't just call the Gestapo when you get ashore?
She may. It is a chance you take. But if she did, she might find the phone unanswered.
What are you getting at?
Your second prisoner. The one in the suit.
The doctor?
He is Sturmbannführer Kessler. Head of the Gestapo. Brussels.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. Who? Natalie. Yeah. Yeah, she is, yeah. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. I don't know.
Hello? Who? I can't hear you. The line's very bad. Aunt Lena! How wonderful. Where are you?
Natalie, listen to me. I must get back to the barge. This is very important.
My God, Aunt Lena. Now look, whatever else happens, don't let them harm him. All right? Now I must talk with the others immediately. Now where can I get hold of you? What's your next stop?
We should reach Massenhoven by nightfall. I could try and get ashore to do some shopping. The Café Boule d'Or, do you know it? Next to the wharf, yes. 7:30 if I can.
You must.
Well,
it's done. Someone will meet me in the cafe on the wharf at Massenhoven, 7:30.
will they take us?
I think so. She's talking with them now to see what can be worked out. Hans?
I'm so afraid. I know that man below in our home, if he questions me, if he has me tortured, I'll give away everything.
Lina,
everything
no
I
one is
know.
going to question you. There's no reason to. Calm yourself. Now we better get going if we're to make Massenhofen by 7:30. Go and start the march. Don't you think your friend will be wondering why we have stopped?
Where you been? What this barge stop so long for?
Just a look. There's several of them on this stretch of water.
Yeah, you worked out how soon before we get to Switzerland?
It's difficult to estimate the speed this thing travels.
What?
We could only take you as far as Saint-Symphorien anyway.
Yeah, where's that?
10, maybe 14 days away.
14 days? Okay. That does it. We gotta get rid of them.
No, Charlie, you can't.
Oh, yeah? Why not? Sem or us?
No, you don't realize...
I think your friend now understands that many more lives will be at stake if you dispose of the Oberleutnant and myself.
Hey, what is this? What's going on here? Who are you?
Take him above. I'll look after them here.
Charlie, come on.
Don't worry. As long as my wife is with you, I won't try anything.
You better not, Mac. I got ears, you know.
I should like some time with that airman when he was not holding a gun.
Don't be impatient. That will happen soon enough. I must admit to finding the situation quite fascinating. It's not often one has the opportunity to study invaders in action at first hand. They are in an impossible position, of course. The odds are loaded too heavily against them. But if this were a game of chance, I should hazard on the younger one's nerve going first. He will probably try to persuade the elder one to make a break, or give himself up. The second choice will annoy our friend with the gun, so he may decide to take the first course, on his own, possibly. He may even decide to dispose of his companion. How would you wager, Mynheer van Bruggen?
I'm not a gambling man, sir. I just want to get you safely off my barge.
But that is what we all want. Is it not, Oberleutnant?
But she says these people help airmen get back all the time. It's a whole chain of people. You heard about them, Charlie.
So, you let her off the barge.
How else could she contact them?
You should have asked me before letting her off the barge.
If he had, what would you have said?
I'd have said no. No, thank you, lady. We don't need any escape line.
Warm September's and a misty moon. This I promise you and more.
What's all this then? No, I don't. Sit down. Take that back there. Do you see any extra patrols on their way in? Security, anything?
No, nothing. They can't have missed him yet.
Thank God it happened over the weekend.
Do you think Natalie's got there by now?
Well, she should have. She left 3 hours ago. No, not those glasses, dear. Not on a Saturday night. We'll have none left for tomorrow. Oh, I hate Natalie being away when we're so busy.
It's already 7:45. I was meant to meet her at 7:30. Hans, can't you convince him?
Yeah, Hans. Convince me.
About the escape line, no. You must take your chance. About the result, if any harm coming to your hostage. Yes, I think I can. Listen to me. The man in the suit is Sturmbannführer Kessler, head of the Gestapo in Brussels. Last year, 2 patriots assassinated Heydrich, chief of the security in Czechoslovakia. The German reprisal was to annihilate 2 villages, complete, with all their inhabitants, men, women, and children. If another Gestapo chief were to be killed, the reprisal might not stop at 2 villages.
You better not keep your contact waiting any longer.
I thought you'd be asleep.
No.
What time's your rendezvous with Natalie and the airmen in the morning?
8 o'clock.
Good. Oh, that means you'll have to leave the convent by 7.
Oh. Coming with me, Albert?
Oh, no, I can't. Sunday morning's far too busy. I'm bound to be missed. Take Max with you. He'd make a good doctor. Anyway, no one listens to the piano Sunday mornings. Good night.
Max, they're almost too good. We'll have to be very careful when we make the switch that we don't mix up the copies with the real thing.
You love go on, don't you? I agree, they're good.
Well, it's true. I couldn't tell them apart.
Any self-respecting art collector could.
And what about the Gestapo? After all, they've just seen the originals.
The thing about fakes, my dear, is you have to be looking for them. Kessler and his friend have seen the real thing. I reckon they'll be so pleased to find them that they won't look at them that closely. Anyway, an idea may appeal to Albert's sense of humour.
No? Well, I hope you make it soon. He hasn't smiled at me in weeks.
Hey, that was it, wasn't it?
Wait here.
Quick, you are free. They've gone. Come on in.
They've been gone for a whole hour.
They've taken my Lena. They said they'd kill her if I didn't give them exactly the time to get away. What could I do?
You can show us the way to the nearest village.
Of course. Please hurry. Lena? Lena! They've gone! Lena, are you all right?
Hey, kid. Now, I think we ended up in the right place at last. What took you so long to persuade me? You know, tall blondes with long legs in the back of ambulances are just my style. Hey, how do you feel about interestingly mature, dark nurses, people? Hey, come on. I was only kidding. Now, what are you looking at me like that for?
She's probably wondering how someone who has caused as much trouble as you have over the past 2 days, risking the lives of untold numbers of people, not to mention those who are still helping you, could possibly continue to behave in such a stupid and offensive manner.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Don't try our patience anymore. Your credibility is being checked with London now. If you're cleared, you will both be on your way south by tonight. After what you've done, keeping you in Brussels would be suicidal for us all. But if you don't check out, or if I hear one more word from you other than the answers to my questions, I shall take the greatest pleasure in pulling this trigger.
Hans, it's all right, thank God. And I got some real coffee.
Welcome home, madame. I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Unterscharführer. You really have nothing to fear. Unless, of course, you have something to hide.
I don't know what you can say.
I am sorry.
She was nervous. She did not see the ambulance.
She had no need to be afraid. The questioning was to be only a formality.
You do not know, sir, the terror you inspire.
Oh, I do, Baji. I do. Right, take it back. He was with me all the time on the barge. There's nothing he can tell us. Your wife was a passenger in a German vehicle. We shall assume responsibility for the necessary arrangements.
No. No, thank you. I prefer now to walk.
Well, I think that must be a record for starting evaders off down the line. They must be nearly at Senlis by now. Poor Natalie. I don't think she spent 2 nights in her own bed in the last 3 weeks.
Well, they checked out and we couldn't risk holding on to them. Their descriptions will be circulated everywhere by now. They did come from the best possible source. Well, at least we've got these. Max is taking these into Switzerland first thing in the morning. I must admit I'd enjoy listening to him bargaining with a capitalist speculator, pretending to be a moralist sympathizer. She'll get a good price for them.
Are you going to wait in here for Hans's phone call?
Yes, I think so. Did you say what time he was going to phone?
No, just that he wanted to talk to you. Oh, mind you, Yvonne took the telephone message. Well, you know what she's like. If you don't start off with your rank, she stops listening. Oh, that's nice.
Keep your eye on that stupid relief girl, will you? She broke 14 of my best glasses last night.
Our glasses are better.
Hello? Oh, yes, Hans.
I think he was doing the goose step, not the foxtrot. Clumsy oaf.
Claudette, what's the matter with your foot, Yvonne?
German army.
Oh, dear. Well, when it stops paying for its drinks, you can stop dancing with it. Don't you think it's about time you relieved Claudette? She's been waiting tables on her own now for 3/4 of an hour.
There's another 5 minutes before the changeover, madam.
Oh, what a lovely watch, Yvonne. It's new, isn't it?
Present.
Oh, people are so kind to you. Must be your personality. By the way, dear, beer is awfully bad for the figure. Not to mention the concentration. And we don't want you dropping anything this early in the evening, do we?
No, Hans, they would have kept you if they'd suspected you of anything. Yes, I'll tell Natalie. And thank you, Hans. We may well call on you soon. Bye.
I finished the IDs.
Yeah, good, son.
What's happened?
Natalie's aunt and uncle were taken to Gestapo headquarters for questioning. As her aunt got out of the car, an ambulance hit her, killed instantly.
Poor Natalie.
Yeah.
What about Hans?
Oh, he's in the clear.
And we're off the hook.
Yeah, at a price. I mean, she took her own life.
Well, it could have cost us, and a lot of others, a lot more.
Yes, I know.
And we do still have these. Our first step towards a little independence.
We still work with London, Max. Not for, but with.
Yes, of course. Did I ever tell you my idea regarding this?
Well?
Well, once I'm safely in the land of the cuckoo clocks, I suggest that Sturmbannführer Kessler receive a telephone call from your friend, the Mother Superior.
Now, look...
No, wait. Hear me out. It would be to ask him if he would be so good as to keep her little secret.
Which is?
The 3 beautiful Rubens which he is so kindly looking after for the convent are in fact copies, painted locally. That she didn't like to admit this in front of the sisters when he had called, for they'd always believed their convent to be specially blessed in possessing such revered paintings by one of Belgium's most famous sons. That is, of course, if you approve.